Well guys, here we are again. I believe this is part 5 of our room renovation videos. In this video here, we're going to change this door out. And of course, in place of this door, we're going to put this one here. And of course, nothing comes easy. So, as I mentioned before, as I may have mentioned before, this house is an older home. It has rough cut 4x4 studs with 3/8 drywall. So in order for the new door to fit, I have to pretty much, trim it down. We'll just say taking, let's just say that much off it, right? So it'll fit with the moldings on both sides. So guys, to remove pretty much any door, the first thing you should do is pull your moldings off the door. And what I mean by casing or moldings is, all this stuff right here. And once you have those pulled, you'll be left with something that resembles this, where you see the wall, and then you'll see the frame of the door. Second thing you'd need to do is, if you want to make it easy on yourself, you can remove the door from the hinges. Now, you can remove the 3 screws, on each set of hinges, and the door will just drop right off. Or, on most hinges, they have the pin here, and you can just pop that pin out, and the door will pretty much fall off the hinges. And then once you got that all squared away, locate the fasteners, basically what holds the door jamb, onto the wall, right? Now, if you're dealing with an older door that's been up, for a lot of years, been painted, you might have something like this where you basically don't see any fasteners whatsoever. And if that is the case, then there's 2 ways to go about that. You can either get out your wrecking bar and start prying, away from there, or being you have the moldings done, removed on both sides, you could take like a sawzall or something and run her down here. Basically make sure if you do that, you have a good metal blade on it, because you'll be cutting the nails or screws. Whatever it was being held in by, that's what you'll be cutting. So guys, to make it easier for us, what I'm going to do is knock these pins out. And by doing that, basically, I'll be able to remove the door off the jamb, which then will be lighter when it comes to removal. So guys, let's get at her, and we'll go from there. So guys, basically, like as I said, you knock the pin out by either putting a flat blade of a screwdriver right here between this head and the top of this, or sticking a nail or something pointy up the back side here and driving it up. So pretty much once you have it driven out, it pops right out, right? You discard that hinge pin. So basically you discard that hinge pin, don't throw it away, because, well, these hinges here are still good, they'd be good on another project or whatever, right? So pretty much you lift up on the door, and providing you have all 3 hinges out, it'll lift right off. So there you go guys, she's pretty much right out of the hole now. So now it makes it easier now to, remove the door. So now we can pretty much concentrate on the moldings themselves. For me, when I installed the new door in the hole, I damaged some of the original moldings. So if you wanted to, you could be careful and save these ones so these moldings will match what's in the hallway. But being they're already cracked and damaged, we're just going to remove them and discard them. So pretty much, a lot of time they're just held on by a little finishing nail. So pretty much you get under it, And if you work it just so, you can almost take the whole frame off in one with one pull of the crowbar, right? So you work your way around the door, you know, loosening off the nails, kind of like that. So what we'll do, guys, is we'll pull this, you know, casing off the door here, and then I'll check back in. So guys, the casing's pretty much off here. I went around it and I loosened it with the crowbar here. Pretty much, you just kind of grab and pull it off, right? Now, as I mentioned earlier, if you're wanting to save it, you know, then discard it. Then, you know, tuck it away somewhere, right? Because this, an older home, right, it's going to have real wood moldings instead of the new MDF type stuff. If you're wondering what real wood moldings look like, of course, they look like, you know, real wood that's been run through, you know, a router and then hand sanded and stuff like that, right? So if you're interested in keeping them, of course, set them aside, but of course be aware that there are, you know, nails, so watch your feet, right? So when you're done that, you know, locate the fasteners that hold the jam pretty much to the wall, right? You know, like I said, yeah, there's one here, one here, and you know, when I installed this, I installed her to pretty much stay, but that's not the way it's going to work out. So what we'll do, guys, is remove these, and then I'll check back in. Okay, guys, so once you've got the fasteners removed, you know, as you can see there's like 6 screws in each side here, because, well, you know, that's the way I am, right? You pretty much give her a push. Now, on this jam here, it's only been in there for a couple of years, so it's not really, you know, hasn't really developed any roots per se. On some of the older jams, you know, they could have multiple nails, so they can be in there fairly well. Now, there's nothing really wrong with this jam per se, this door. It's just when I installed it, you know, as you tell by the thickness here, when I installed it, I didn't trim it like I should have. I just stuck it in the wall. As you can see here by the thickness of the 2x4, which is, this is actually looking more like a 2x3, and then the thinness of the drywall, which is actually 3/8. You know, I've got to take whatever that is there, like 1.5 inches or something off it. So guys, you know, this jam, as I said, there's nothing wrong with it. It can be reused on another project. You know, if you're gonna throw it away, you know, save the hinges off it. You know, if not, you know, keep it for a basement project or donate it to something like a restore, because there's nothing wrong with the door. You know, nothing that a good coat of paint won't fix. You know, keep your doorknob, because you'll need that for the new door. But other than that, guys, we'll fold up this jam, and then we'll skid in our new door, and then we'll start doing the measurements for the cut. So guys, you have your door all ready to be cut here. Before you cut it, a couple things to look for, you know, even when you're picking it out at the store. Now, there's things called right-hand swing and a left-hand swing. Now, in this opening here, we had the door would swing inwards, so therefore the hinges are on your right-hand side. The doorknob would be on your left. So therefore, of course, being the hinges were on your right-hand side, it'd be called a right-hand swing. You know, if the hinges were on your left-hand side, it'd be a left-hand swing. Now, another thing to do, as a reminder, so you're buying the right door, is measure across your opening here. Now, my opening here is roughly, my tape measure here won't focus, but my opening is roughly 32 inches. Now, of course, that doesn't mean you can stick a 32-inch door in this hole, because you're forgetting about the roughly 3/4 of an inch on both sides of the jamb. So, you know, the easiest way that I found to remember is take your tape measure down to the lumberyard and measure here. You know, if you see that little red mark there, this door is roughly 31.5, which basically by standards means it's 32 inches. You know, so that's complete overall dimensions, right? So the door itself is 30 inches. So guys, being the house is the way it is, we have an overall dimension on the wall here of about 3.5 inches. So guys, once you're satisfied that this is the door you need for your opening, then of course remove the plastic wrap or the ties or whatever that is holding it all, you know, together. You know, peel back, any of the shipping cardboard or whatever that's on it, right? I don't know, got a question. Hey, could you call that an unboxing of a door? Hey, whatever, eh? But guys, I'd recommend removing these screws, especially since you're going to be running a saw along here. We want to have all that, clear anyway. So what I'll do is I'll remove all these obstacles, you know, the screws and some of the staples and the banding, and then I'll check back in. So guys, I've measured twice, transferred the measurements onto the jamb itself. So guys, this blue line that you see here is a chalk line. It's a handy little invention. Just allows you to see what you're cutting, allows you to see the line that you're going to follow. But guys, we have everything all measured out here. We have our brand new Ryobi circular saw. This is one you've seen me do the unboxing video on. I pretty much bought this saw just specific for this one task, as well as to replace my old Black & Decker that has finally pretty much had it. So guys, I'm going to probably drop you on the tripod here so you can watch me cut, and let's get at her. Well guys, here it is. Moment of truth for the cut. We have our door jamb all narrowed now to fit our 2x3 with the 3/8 drywall, wall now. So basically, yeah, as I said, she's narrowed to 3.5 inches to fit the wall here. Now, of course, being it's a standard size to fit newer construction, the door and the jamb itself is a little bit longer than what my opening is. So basically it's taller than my opening. So what I got to do is I've got to take off, a couple inches to make it fit in the hole. So pretty much then you run her down, do your measurements, and you're ready to cut. So guys, pretty much you do your final measurements and you're ready to cut. So what I'll do is I'll check back in a bit. So guys, we just made our cut across the door itself. And yeah, of course the saw blade doesn't cut all the way through the jamb. It leaves whatever that is there, an inch, 1.5 inches. So I'm going to run through it with a handsaw. And then after that, You know, we got to take probably another inch or so off the door itself, because to take an account for any, like on this house here, we have carpet in this room. So we got to take about an inch or so off so the door will swing over top the carpet. You know, if it wasn't the carpet, you know, I've seen the doors as low as 3/4 of an inch or so, 5/8 or whatever. You know, and then after we're done that, if you really want to get fancy, we can separate, you know, we can separate this stuff here from the original, you know, MDF and reinsert it in here. You know, glue it again, which will give the door its strength. So I'll run the handsaw through here to get this all squared away, and then I'll check back in. Well guys, here we go. I've got the bottom of the door all ready to be cut. Now, just a reminder, this is the cut that's going to be, you know how most doors, how they hang a little bit above the floor. That's what's going to clear the carpet or the laminate or whatever you have for the flooring. You know, if you ever have a house that shifts or something, and you got a door that's rubbing on the carpet or the floor, you know, chances are what's happened is something shifted, and you know, you got to give this a little bit of a trim. Now, the most you really have to trim it a lot of the times is, you know, a lot of times all you need to do is run a bit of a planer over it. You don't have to take an inch or anything off of it. Only reason why I'm cutting this is because we have carpet in here, and of course the jamb goes right to the floor, but the door has to be up to clear the flooring. So guys, I'll make this cut here and then I'll check back in. So guys, we got the cuts made. We got the door, you know, shorter than the jamb to of course clear the flooring. I got the hinges and everything all put back together, everything all ready. So we should be ready now for the test fit here in the hole to see how she fits. So guys, you know, if she fits right, then we should be pretty much good to install it. Then after we install it, we'll have to go from there. So what I'll do is I'll do the test fit in the hole, the moment of truth type of deal, and then we'll go from there. Well guys, there she is. She's in the hole here. Pretty much, you know, she's lining up where she needs to be. The spacing looks correct. Of course, you know, the framing is a little bit out of square, which is expected. And pretty much, you take your level now, and what you're going to want to do is square it up using the, you know, shims here. With the shims, you pretty much slide them in the door until they're square, and then using the shims, putting one from one way and one from facing away from you, you get everything the way you need it to be. So guys, I can't do this holding the camera, so I have to do this, put you down for a bit. So I'll check in a bit. So guys, you got some shims in the door here. It's kind of hard to only shim it from one side, but that's the only way into the room, is to give her a good old shim, and then you know, go from there, right? So what I'm going to do is tack it with a couple of brad nails, just so I can swing the door open to get inside, and then shim it from the opposite end. And then after we're done with that, we'll have to do probably a couple of finishing nails into it for the final hold. So yeah, let's get at her and see what happens. Well guys, there you go. Have the door installed here. The gap looks reasonable all the way around. It opens and closes without you know, any binding, any real big issues. You know, it fits fairly well all the way around. Like as I said, the gaps you know, look good. I'm probably not going to put the knob in there right now. I'll wait till after she's all painted. But you know, she's all ready for the moldings and everything else that'll follow. You just have to go around now and give these little shims here a trim so they're not in the way of the moldings. But other than that, she's pretty decent. So in this video, as you've seen, we covered the installation. We covered the cutting down of the jamb to fit the, the hole, as well as the installation of the door. So guys, as always, thank you for watching Maxwell's World. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.